Joining me now is Congressman Jerry Nadler, whose district includes Ground Zero. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight. I'll pose this question to you, Jerry. Senator Kyl wants to know where the money's going. I thought that we should just ask you tonight. Where's the money going? If it's $6.2 billion or $7 billion, where's the money go? He doesn't seem to know.
Well, about $3.5 billion will go to health care for the 9/11 first responders and survivors, and the balance will go to reopening the Victims' Compensation Fund. Congress, a week after 9/11, passed the Victims' Compensation Fund to reimburse victims or families of victims who had died so that they didn't have to sue the Port Authority, the airlines, and whoever else. But it was closed because, that is to say, you had to sue, you had to file by a certain date because it was not anticipated that people would get sick later and that their injuries would manifest themselves later. So part of this bill is to reopen that so people who got sick after the closing date, which was back in 2002 or 3, I forget, could sue, could avoid suing, could get compensated for their injuries, for their sicknesses. But most of it is for, but about half of it, a little better than, is for medical care. A lot of people are caught in a catch-22 because they could no longer work. They could, because they were sick, they could no longer work. They lost their health insurance. And over 1,000 people have died from this for several years. A government at all levels denied the obvious, that people were getting sick because of the toxins that they breathed, but now nobody denies that at all.
Well, this is what I think the American people, and I have to capture this as an American taxpayer as well. We've had over 1,000 people die from being 9/11 responders. Yet the people who are, I guess you could say, are still above the grass, you mean we're going to deny them medical care when there's a real good chance that they could pass away because of their volunteer effort on that big tragedy that took place on 9/11?
That's what is happening.
Ahead,
people are losing their entire life savings, their entire livelihoods because of this. And what does it say about, Abraham Lincoln said that we have to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan. And that's all this is. The Marine Corps says you never leave the wounded on the battlefield. That's all this is. And yet Congress passed a couple of weeks after Pearl Harbor a very similar bill to take care of the civilian victims of Pearl Harbor, which was the first attack on American territory. And this is simply what we have to do. Carol Maloney and I have been working on this bill for about 7.5 years. It's been made as tight as possible, as closed as possible. But we know there are thousands of people under treatment, and there will be more thousands of people under treatment. And this will simply take care of the minimal obligations of the United States. And there's one other thing, too. Some of the people in the Senate, some of the Republicans are saying that, and in the House too, that this is just for New York. It's a New York problem. Well, the fact is it was the United States that was attacked, not New York. And people came from all over the country who were first responders from every state in the Union, and they're sick, and some of them are dying all over the country. And this is for the benefit of everybody. And finally, next time, God forbid, we have a natural disaster, whether man-made or we have a disaster, whether man-made or natural, we want people to rush in and to try to help people and save people, not to worry about, my God, I'd better not help, because if I help and I get injured, who's going to take care of my family?
Well put. Congressman, thanks for keeping up the fight. Jerry Nadler in New York here on The Ed Show tonight. Thanks so much.